Well, here we go. Wall Street Journal reporting along with a lot of other news. Iran fires on U.S. base in Qatar as Gulf neighbors close airspace. And we're reading headlines like this. U.S. Embassy issues shelter-in-place warning for Americans. So yeah, Iran says it has attacked the U.S. military base in Qatar with missiles. And I'm seeing CNBC saying explosions heard in the sky over Qatar as U.S. braces for Iran attack. Hey guys, my name is Cohen here at Riverside Homestead, and if you're brand new here, welcome. Normally I cover a lot of stuff: food awareness, prepping alerts, news awareness, and emergency preparedness. But I'll tell you what, this is happening now. It could be the big one, and it seems to be escalating every single day. So let's jump in. So like I said, we've got warnings of shelter in place happening now. This one just coming out. This comes from Express US, verified publisher. Iran bombs US base in Qatar as airspace closed, and Americans giving alarming warning. Look, I did a video just the other day on this, guys, and I asked you guys to put in number 3 if you think this is gonna be the big one, and 0 if you think this is just a big political ploy and a flop or something else. And I was shocked at how many 3s I saw. A lot of people accumulatively are thinking that this is going to drum this thing up and be the next big one. So as we get started, along with hitting the like button, let me know down in the comments. Do you guys think this is the big W3? Or do you think it's a flop? Let me know. 3 or 0 down in the comments. But we got bigger fish to fry, because now we've got Russia popping into this thing, China popping into this thing, and other countries that say that they are sending what Iran lost in replacement. And let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the commander-in-chief said that if these guys attack our stuff, that basically he's gonna level the place, which I seriously think would happen before they could even touch us on the US soil. I showed you this map the other day. These are target spots that if things really go down, these are the cities that they're probably gonna go after. But in fact, we are seeing reports that Iran did retaliate. Reports indicate that several explosions from Iranian missiles have been heard over US Central Command's AI Udeid Air Base in Qatar. Officials have reportedly issued a warning that this might be the start of a retaliatory strike after the US bombed 3 Iranian nuclear facilities on Saturday. So now, just so you know, according to the Jerusalem Post, this air base is the largest US base in the Middle East and houses approximately 10,000 troops. That's a pretty big spot. It also serves as CENTCOM's forward headquarters. Anyway, we'll get back into that in a minute. Full steam ahead, these guys. Iranian-aligned hackers claim responsibility for the Truth Social cyber attack. As recording this is reported just 2 hours ago. Maybe we don't worry so much about Iran, but big Russia and big China, throw them in a ring as allies and we got problems. Right here, Russian leader claims multiple countries prepped to provide Iran nuclear weapons following the US strike. And this comes from Fox News. I feel like this is the biggest thing that we need to worry about. Versus Iran, I think that if they've got some big brothers that step into this thing, that's where it's gonna get really tricky and worrisome. It says Russia's former president said that multiple countries are poised to provide Iran with nuclear warheads after the US launched strikes against 3 Iranian nuclear facilities, the enrichment of nuclear material, and now we can say it outright, the future production of nuclear weapons will continue. Dmitry Medvedev, now the deputy chairman of the Security Council of Russia, said in a Sunday X post. I mean, that's the actual quote from him. A number of countries are ready to directly supply Iran with their own nuclear warheads, Medvedev said. Now, what's old Trumpsky gonna do when he says anybody that supplies Iran with this is gonna get dealt with? And what would those retaliations be looking like? I'm looking at all the hypotheticals here. And then we got China piping in. China rips Trump's Iran attack in first comment since U.S. hit. The beginning of this article says China criticized the U.S. strike on Iranian nuclear facility and reiterated that it's willing to join international efforts to restore peace in the Middle East. And you know who they're going to bat for. Beijing strongly condemns the attacks on Iran, according to a 4-sentence statement from the foreign minister on Sunday. Well, now I want to know what they said. In quotes, the U.S. move seriously violates the purpose and principles of the UN Charter and international law and exacerbates tensions in the Middle East, it said. China calls on all parties to the conflict, especially Israel, to cease fire as soon as possible. I seriously don't think this is going away. Right here from Global Times, U.S. bombs have impacted foundation of global security order by using bunker buster bombs to accomplish what Israel could not. The U.S. has deliberately escalated the level of weaponry used, pouring fuel on the flames of war and pushing the Iran-Israel conflict closer toward an uncontrollable state. So look, you got the whole world amping this thing up. And you know, when the Strait of Hormuz distributes 1/5 of the world's oil, guess who some big players are? That, I'm guessing Russia, and most definitely China. You can see right there, 33% of what they got coming in is coming in from the dependence on the oil you can see right here, let the graph do the talking. They get the majority of their oil. It says China is the most dependent on oil transiting through the Strait of Hormuz. So yeah, you think that they're going to pipe up? They definitely will. Another takeaway from this article says Chinese is concerned about the potential impact of the conflict on its oil supplies as it heavily depends on the oil passing through the Strait of Hormuz, and has called for de-escalation to maintain regional stability and global economic development. So that's what I'm saying. You got Russia stepping up, and you got China stepping up. I'm sure most Americans think that we could take Iran, no problem. But like I said, you add China and Russia to the fight, whether we can take them or not, from a military standpoint, that's what will send us into uncharted waters. Check out what Kayleigh McEnany said from Fox News in a recent news feed.
Less than an hour from now, President Trump expected to meet with his national security team inside of the White House. That as we learn of new warnings from U.S. sources to Fox of an imminent Iranian strike on a U.S. base in Qatar. In fact, it was the very same base that President Trump spoke at during his trip to the Middle East. Now, this is where the United States has its largest airbase in the Middle East, and Qatar has closed its airspace until further notice. You can look at the flight radar. There are literally no flights above Qatar right now. And the State Department is instructing all Americans to shelter in place. We are learning more about America's historic strike against Iran in the meantime. And new details are emerging about this weekend, how the U.S. carried out a highly precise airstrike mission that successfully took out 3 of Iran's most important nuclear sites. You've heard them by name: Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. And now President Trump is calling for peace.
Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace.
The president hailing the mission on Truth Social, writing, quote, "Monumental damage was done to all nuclear sites in Iran as shown by satellite images. Obliteration is an accurate term." And the Pentagon revealing just how unprecedented the mission actually was.
The scope and scale of what occurred last night would take the breath away of almost any American if you had an opportunity to watch it in real time.
This was the largest B-2 operational strike in U.S. history and the second longest B-2 mission ever flown. This operation underscores the unmatched capabilities and global reach of the United States military.
A lot unfolding every single day, and I gotta keep you guys informed of this because it may turn into something bigger than we really want. Again, put a 3 down in the comments or a 0 on whether you guys think that this is gonna be it or you don't think so. You can even put a 1 or a 2 if you're kind of in between. Myself and the community will know exactly what you mean. Anyway, I got a lot more news and awareness I need to cover in other sectors, like there's a lot of brand new food awareness I need to get by you guys and some other shocking things. Make sure the notification bell is still turned on. People are getting magically unclicked. We know why. A lot more coming down the pipe. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing, guys. We'll see you on the next one.